When it comes to ruling a nation, being in touch with the common man is just as important as rubbing elbows with the leaders of other countries. That's why presidents throughout history have embraced the media as an easy and simple way to do exactly that. The earliest photographic portrait of a president available is of John Quincy Adams, America's 6th president. That's over 40 presidents ago. Clearly, saying cheese when getting your picture taken hadn't been invented yet. It's not even the very first picture taken either. William Henry Harrison, an Ohio native, was technically the first, but that image has been sadly lost to history. Another huge presidential step in embracing new media didn't come until America's 32nd president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, stepped into the recording booth for a couple fireside chats. Roosevelt, known more widely as FDR, had utilized radio while he was rising as a politician in New York. He understood the importance of having your voice heard on the radio and used that as a weapon against his less media-literate opponents. During these chats, FDR would inform the American public on policy, and towards the later end of his 4-term presidency would even give them news from the front lines of Europe and Japan. As president, he continued this practice until he died in 1945. Just before the end of World War II. Once presidents after FDR started to realize the power of a proper relationship with new, growing forms of media, it was off to the literal presidential races. Famously, John F. Kennedy, America's 35th president, won the first ever televised debate partly because he just looked more prepared and presidential than his opponent Richard Nixon. Of course, Nixon, who would soon be the 37th president, would also get his time to shine on the comedy sketch show Laugh-In, where he repeated one of the show's famous catchphrases.
"Sock it to me?"
His delivery was stilted, but it still became one of the show's most iconic moments. TV history had just been made. Not all presidents started from a position of unfamiliarity with the media, however. In fact, some presidents found their start there. Ronald Reagan was known primarily as an actor for over 30 years of his life before getting into politics. He starred in a total of 53 separate films, with the last one being The Killers, a 1964 film where Reagan was playing the villain for the first and last time in his career. Soon, he would move on to become the governor of California, before finally running for president in the 1976 and 1980 elections. Eventually, the once film and television star would rise to become the 40th president of the United States. Other presidents took the opportunity to utilize the media as a way to show off their talents, or to show that they're more interesting than your average politician. While he was running for the position of 42nd president, Bill Clinton went on Arsenio Hall to proudly display himself as one of the coolest candidates to walk the 90s. The footage speaks for itself as Clinton completely dominates Heartbreak Hotel on the saxophone while wearing shades. Toys like the Uptown Bill were even made to celebrate this crossover event. Overwhelmingly, Clinton looked like the chiller candidate over George H.W. Bush. Now our modern presidents have truly come to grasp what it means to have a thriving connection with media, be it radio, television, or film. Before running for president in 2015, current candidate Donald Trump was known primarily as a real estate mogul who hosted a reality television show. The Apprentice ran for over 14 seasons and even had a celebrity-based spin-off in The Celebrity Apprentice. Now, Trump could potentially be the 45th and 47th president of the United States. Some presidents wait until they're retired to get more involved with the media. Since leaving the office, 44th President Barack Obama has gone on to create his own movie production company, Higher Ground Productions, and they've gone on to produce several documentaries, films, and television shows, some of which have even gone on to be Emmy-nominated. 43rd President George W. Bush now paints portraits of world leaders, with some of his paintings even finding their way behind displays in a museum. No matter what the future holds, it's almost assured that whoever will be running the country next will need to utilize the media properly in order to win the hearts and minds of Americans everywhere. It might not even be that long until we're once again watching another presidential candidate popping up on some television show in a bid to get your vote. After all, making our elected leaders have some fun now and then is part of the American spirit.